143 feet from the basket, I had the perfect drive, and all I needed to do was execute a routine upshot to finish my round with a personal best. So I grabbed my putter for a simple approach shot, and I need to learn how to throw putters. Now, the sole purpose of this video is, yes, finding my throwing putter, but the whole reason for the video and what steamed the video up from the ground is I have never actually thrown throwing putters before. I have just always thought of putters as being putters, but a throwing putter is so incredibly important. It allows you to be that much more accurate if you're throwing it off the tee, or if you're 200 feet away from the pin. You can really dial in the accuracy if you use throwing putters. And that is why I need to find and learn how to throw throwing putters. And on top of that, I have realized that having touchy shots with higher speed discs is very important, but I've never realized having touchy shots with putters is even more important. And that is what I think I'm gonna find here today in this video. I mean, whenever I look at, James Conrad or Paul McBeth or Simon Lizotte throwing his Proxy all over the place, it is a thing of art, it's the chef's kiss.
As it fades. Manages well. Wow, very impressive shot.
Bruh. He's got a big Z Luna in his hand, folks. This is getting all the way there.
When I first started disc golf, I thought this is the only disc I ever needed. This was the first disc that was given to me, so shout out to you, Adam. But the thing that really just got me on this disc is the fact that I could throw it on any line, it would hold that line, and I knew exactly what it was going to do. So I thought I could just put it on any line, and that is my throwing putter. That is the only disc that I ever needed, and that just is not the case, or at least that's what I'm learning is not the case anymore. This is an overstable putter. The zone is an overstable putter, and I need to find something neutral. So let's talk about what I want in a throwing putter. So with me today, I have gathered some of the discs that just feel great in my hand. So the first one is the Latitude 64 Pure in soft, zero medium plastic. The next thing that I have is an Axiom Disc Proxy in the Neutron plastic. I do not have a soft Proxy, which I know Simon Lizotte endorses, but needless to say, I have a Proxy in the running for my throwing putter, like everybody else. I also have a Discraft Challenger here, and this thing is actually pretty straight. I know as advertised, it is an overstable throwing putter, but it's actually kind of dead straight point and shoot laser of a putter, throwing putter. And then we have a Prodigy PA5, and this thing, you will probably see a bunch of pros and really high level amateurs actually throw this and have it turn over and it won't come back. Well, for my backhand, it doesn't do that. It just goes dead straight. It might have a little bit of turn to it, but it goes dead straight and it just kind of like slowly fades down to the ground, which is exactly what I want. So these are the 4 discs that I have. I'm gonna put them up to a little bit of a test, if you will. So one more thing to note, if you are wondering, where's the P2, where's the PA3, where's the Envy? Well, I just picked up the discs that feel good in my hand. The Envy actually did not feel good in my hand. I know everybody's throwing it and it's too stable. The PA3 is dead straight point and shoot, but I did not like how it felt in my hands either. And then finally, the P2 from Discmania, I just didn't like it. So sorry to all you Discmaniacs out there, but these are the 4 putters that we have today. Let's go see what we can do. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do with these throwing putters is just throw them as flat as I can. I'm about 150 feet away from the basket, so this is exactly the perfect range. I want to be able to pick up a throwing putter and just put it within circle 1. Obviously, that's the goal, or within the bullseye rather. So that's exactly what we're going to try and do here. We got our zero medium Pure. It's that dead straight, small little finish. That's probably 10 feet. Next, we'll go Proxy. Really nice, dead straight flight with a little bit of a stability to it. So both those are really nice. I like the feel of them in my hand. PA5, I just threw a little low, but that did feel good too. And the Challenger. All right, that one went a little bit long, but all 4 really good shots. So I'm further away now. I think the biggest thing that gets in my head whenever I throw my throwing putters. If I throw them too hard, they're gonna turn over on me. That's just not the case. I just have to get that out of my head. So I'd say we're about 200 or so out, and it's a nice little low ceiling. All I wanna do is just throw this thing as flat as possible and let the Pure, Proxy, these straight putters do the work. Abso-freaking-lutely. I didn't go full power on that, probably went about 95%. And that was just awesome. I loved seeing that. Oh, Zach, what are you doing? There's that turn that you kind of expect out of the PA5. That's under the basket, so that was nice. That could go in the bucket. No, that's long. So, what I wanna do now is I wanna give these bad boys a full rip and see how they really react to a full rip. And I'm gonna go, I don't know how far away I am. I'd say I'm about like 250 or so. So I should be able to get a throwing putter there, especially these dead straight ones. And we'll see what happens to them. That's what I want. I know I don't have a great, powerful backhand that's gonna get to the basket, but that thing is just dead straight. It actually flipped up to flat a little bit. So my natural hyzer release, it's perfect for. There's the Proxy. That's a money flight right there. Nice little fade at the end. Ooh, oh, that thing just died out of there really quick. Yikes. Just from that throw alone, I know the Challenger is not going in the bag. To all of you Discraft fans, yes, I threw that Challenger on a little bit of hyzer, but I threw all 4 of those on a little bit of hyzer because that's just natural for me. That Pure flipped up to flat and just rode dead straight and then just fell. The Proxy was money. And then the PA5 had a small little turn to it and then just kind of out of there. After further review, the Challenger is gone. It is not making the bag. So we're down to 3. And now what I want to do to test out how these feel and if I'm confident in throwing them is being behind a tree. And if I could go stagger stance or I can flick them. So we're going to do 2 rounds here. We're going to go 1 on the right side. We're going to do a nice little patent pending backhand flex. And then we're going to do a second one of just a smooth little flick. I'm about 150 feet away. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Might have gave that a little too much turn. I shouldn't let that judge the final product of if it's going in the bag or not. Hopefully it made sense whenever I said I can't let the shot dictate how good or bad the disc is, especially with the Proxy, because that was all user error on that backhand turnover. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna forehand these, and the thing that I like about these on the forehand is, yes, they are dead straight, but usually throwing putters feel weird whenever you throw forehand. The Pure and the Proxy don't. I've never flicked the PA5 before. Sit down. I mean, that's a pretty good start. Oh, keep turning. Oh, if that kept turning, it was in. Turn over? Not quite. It was a little nose up, a little wobbly. However, I do want to continue flicking that PA5 just to see if it is an option to do a forehand turnover with it, or if it's just a turn and burn. So to do that, I'm going to throw this PA5 on some hyzer, a lot of hyzer actually, and have it just turn over and see if it's a viable option whenever the backhand's out of play. Obviously the backhand is in play, but I do want to see if this PA5 can hold a nice little forehand turnover line without turning and burning. That was nice. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to talk about what disc I feel the most confident in, but also the one that I can pick up and be the most consistent with, because at the end of the day, disc golf is all about consistency. So let's head back and I'm gonna tell you which disc I chose to be the winner. So, what am I going to choose as my throwing putter? Well, as you already know, I have all 3 of these discs with me, the Proxy, the PA5, and the Pure, and I'm just gonna tell you what is going to be my throwing putter. That way I don't have to keep you longer than you guys are here for. But if you wanna know why I chose that throwing putter, stay tuned to the end of the video. So, I'm choosing the Pure from Latitude 64. This feels the most consistent and it feels the best in my hand. And I just feel like I can do anything that I need to with this disc. So that is why the Pure from Latitude 64 is going to be my new throwing putter. Now that doesn't mean the Proxy and the PA5 are bad discs. These are incredible discs. I just felt myself to be more consistent with the Pure, which is what disc golf is all about, like I said. So the PA5, I'm just gonna put in storage, but it'll probably be back. Now, as far as the Proxy goes, all of you Gyronaut MVP heads, this is an incredible disc, and I 100% think you should throw this. However, the only difference between the Proxy and the Pure, because they have the same flight characteristics, the only difference is the rim depth. This is just a little bit deeper than the Pure, and that is why I love the Pure, because when I hold my putters, I have this weird little fang grip with these 3 fingers, but then I also have my index finger tucked into the rim right there, and then my thumb is up here towards the top. It's almost that connection point between the index finger and thumb. Anyway, when I do that, it feels incredible, and it just like hits my index finger with a great crease, and I can just pull through, and I'm not gonna grip lock it, I'm not going to baby it or anything like that. When I hold the Proxy the same way, the rim depth is just deep enough to where it just goes a little bit deeper on my index finger, and it just is just enough uncomfortable, if you will. I thought I would get over it. Maybe I thought with repetitions I would get over it, but that just isn't the case. So the Proxy, it was so close. Very close, actually, other than the fact that it's probably like a centimeter too deep. Size matters. Anyways, the Pure is my new throwing putter for the foreseeable future. And on that note, you know how I said I was gonna have a Latitude 64 sponsored video? Well, look what came in the mail.